going on, guys? How y'all doing this evening? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and I am here live for my live review of NXT Super Tuesday 2, as NXT was aired tonight, Tuesday night, September 8th, 2020, at Full Sail University in Orlando, Florida. Next week, NXT will be going back to Wednesday night. I'm not sure how longer term plans. Again, the reason why it was moved around is because of the NHL and the NBA. That's why both NXT and AEW moved around. But of course, people are making their cases now as to splitting both those shows up and not being on, again, the same nights anymore. Just let them have their audience. Who knows? Tonight's episode of NXT was a strange one. It was one that I particularly didn't really enjoy as much as I thought I should have. We had two big matches that were announced that were good, but to me, other things around it just kind of like lowered my excitement for it a little bit. It could have been partially because, again, I have a lot going on right now for me. Again, I was going to do live reaction at first during the Finn Balor and Adam Cole match. One, I wouldn't have been prepared anyway because, it ended up being first instead of being the main event. Two, also, again, I had to edit I'm so busy editing a couple wedding videos, so I couldn't really focus completely on the show. Everything else that I saw in this show, I had my problems with it. And part of it's because, again, it's somewhat getting to the main roster now, but it's really getting to me now in NXT. The dynamics are just off. I mean, I get it. They seem to be letting a lot of people just be them, pretty much. But something's off. Something is off with NXT right now. I'm not sure what it is. Is it, because we no longer have a top babyface right now in NXT? Because all the big names are pretty much heels. As far as I know, there have been back and forth that I still can't tell, like Damian Priest, Finn Balor, Adam Cole. And there's some guys like, Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, a few others who it's like, okay, yes, they've done all they can do in NXT. They're still here. Rather have them here than the main roster. But it's like, what else is there really for them to do right now? Like, their relevancy is just shooting down. Especially Johnny. I'm really losing interest in Johnny, to be honest. But we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. Again, there was still some good stuff to come out of this show. The hype up some match for next week. But I will say, this was definitely one of my least favorite episodes of NXT I've watched in a while. And I know this graphic will be changing next week. Of course, I didn't want to spoil it for anyone who didn't get to watch the show yet. But like last night for Raw, I'm not going to stay up here super duper long. I'm going to just, breeze through it, give my thoughts, because, again, day 1 of 5 days of hell at work. Basically being one person short. One of the best people is on vacation this week, and also on Monday as well. So just try to get by alive. So I survived today. Let's see what Wednesday brings us. Also, I gotta get this out there. Lately, I've been having a lot of women's wrestlers, particularly the two I can think off the top of my head: Alexa Bliss and Liv Morgan. Have been having people creating fake accounts on Instagram and try to basically get me to follow them. One, I know you're not the real Alexa Bliss. I know you're not the real Liv Morgan. I may be single right now and have no prospects and struggling to even grab a girl's attention right now. Don't tempt me, anybody out there who's trying to pull my strings. Please don't. Anyways, so before we get into this, let's check the live chat. We got Tyler. What's up? Did Finn win? He did not watch NXT. Let's talk about this show. So we opened up with a match that I was thinking was going to be the main event. Instead, it was a match that kicked off the show. Adam Cole versus Finn Balor for the NXT Championship. To be 100% real, yes. The steel cage match between Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez was worth being a main event match. This should have main evented the show. This was like, yes, okay, Rhea Ripley was finally trying to get rid of, the Robert Stone brand, eating at her for months. But the NXT Championship that had a freaking history-making match with that 60-minute Iron Man match last week that ends in a draw, and then you immediately put the match to the side, the decisive factor for that historical moment as the opener of the show. It's like you kind of like had the biggest hurrah start the show and didn't have much to look forward to throughout the rest of the show. I mean, yes, that steel cage match was good, but to me I feel like that's one reason why I felt this show felt off, because I felt like, this match should have made it better the show. It was a good match. I wouldn't say it was one of their best matches, though. I wouldn't say Adam Cole and Finn Balor, they have good chemistry, but compared to other people that Adam Cole has wrestled in matches, such as, Johnny Gargano, Ricochet, even Tommaso Ciampa, I feel like, there's something that's a little bit missing from him and Finn Balor. Still a great match. Of course, they did, do some kayfabe injuries in this match that caused especially Finn Balor to be hampered, going on one leg and such, and firing some of their best shots at each other. I couldn't keep it down. And then it took the win to go to an Avalanche 1916 DDT by Finn Balor off the top rope onto Adam Cole for Finn Balor to get the win. And for the first time since 2016, Finn Balor is NXT champion. He is now a 2-time NXT champion. Join the likes of Samoa Joe, Shinsuke Nakamura. Is that it? I think those are the only two-time NXT champions. Well, for the men's championship, we've had a couple people be, multiple tag champions. And I think just Shayna Baszler. Shayna Baszler and Charlotte Flair be multiple-time NXT Women's Champion. So, whenever this match was announced, I definitely knew it was going to be Finn. Even though I still wonder what's going to happen now once NXT UK starts back up next week. Because again, he was supposed to feud with Walter. Unless they're still going to do a champion versus champion or a title for title match at TakeOver Dublin, if they still do it. Once NXT UK starts back up again. Who knows? But I'm glad Finn won. But like I said, I felt this match was out of place. And afterwards, backstage, though, we see Finn Balor being congratulated by Triple H and Regal. And even Adam Cole offers him a handshake and a too sweet thing as well to congratulate him too. And Finn was interviewed, says everyone has been asking for 10 months, why did he come back? And he said, this is why. So, again, we got that. Again, it's still a good match, but like I said, it just felt a little out of place. We then have Rhea Ripley cutting a promo about her steel cage match against Mercedes Martinez. Then we see Robert Stone, who's, again, I keep saying this, the guy's just annoying me. He's not, they're making a comedy act out of him. Again, are you sure Vince is starting to get involved in NXT? I get it, it's lost its luster a little bit. It's still good, but it's not as good as it used to be. But why is this whole Robert Stone stuff is just not entertaining me? Stone was acting like he's a genius. He knows where things are, and he basically wants to try to destroy Shotzi Blackheart's tank, the thing that Shotzi keeps using to run over his legs. But Shotzi is there and tracks him down. Then Aaliyah attacks Shotzi, and they stumble their way through a curtain and accidentally knock Io Shirai over during a photo shoot she's having. Io chases Aaliyah to the ring. Shotzi joins her, and they basically do a 2-on-1 beatdown on Aaliyah until Robert Stone comes out. He tries to dive and take out Io and Shotzi, but they get out of the way. And then they hit moonsaults onto Aaliyah and Robert Stone. Again, continue to make him a freaking joke. So I didn't care about that, but what I did care about though was I just kind of caught my eyes as a fresh match. Afterwards, we see Io and Shotzi get along like, yeah, that's right, we're awesome. Until Shotzi rips the NXT Women's Championship out of Io's hands. And there was a little bit of a tense moment there when Io rips it back. She's like, don't make me hurt you. And it's announced that next week we're going to be having a singles match, a non-title match between Io Shirai and Shotzi Blackheart. Cool for something fresh. I don't think Shotzi's ready to be competing for the NXT Women's title, but kind of just one of those matches to, get her with the big name in the brand, and of course in Io Shirai, and see what she can do. I look forward to that match. We'll see where it goes. Again, I'm still growing on Shotzi, but again, I've definitely, other than the fact of her running over Robert Stone's legs with her tank, which again is just getting super annoying and not funny. Just Robert Stone in general getting beat up to me is just not entertaining at all to me. Yeah, I'm definitely seeing more of that Daredevil, Jeff Hardy, Darby Allin mystique to Shotzi Blackheart. So we'll see what happens when she faces off with Io next week and see where it goes from there. Then we have so it's been teased for a couple weeks that Tegan Nox and Candice LeRae are going to get together, have a glass of wine, and just have a meal together, just to discuss the tension between their unstable friendship. So Johnny gets to the Gargano house. Johnny and Candice are arguing over Johnny doing something, and he agrees to do it, and then Tegan shows up, and they're excited to have her in there, and they sit down, and Johnny, of course, is sitting there like, he's supposed to be there, where it's like, hey, Johnny, let the girls discuss things. We have Timothy Thatcher having another, lesson, teach us how to know your enemy. And he's talking about Damian Priest, saying he's a deadly striker, but he leaves his arms dangle when he throws forearms, and that leaves him vulnerable to counterattacks. Of course, just talking about submissions and whatnot. He leaves his feet a lot, and that's stupid because you're in control when your feet are on this ground. So, again, it's teasing a feud between them, which I think we are getting a North American Championship match between Damian Priest and Timothy Thatcher. Okay. Then we have Velveteen Dream. I thought maybe they took him back off TV again because they're getting backlash about him being on TV. Velveteen Dream is taking on Ashante the Adonis, and then Dream beats him with a Dream Valley Driver, even though Adonis was talking some trash to him. But afterwards, Dream's about to talk till Kushida attacks him. I guess we're getting a Kushida and Velveteen Dream feud. I don't know. I still am surrounded by a ton of people who are still super unhappy about Velveteen Dream being back. I can understand that. Again, I'm still trying to trust that WWE actually, found proof or evidence or some way to, prove that he's innocent, and or is innocent until proven guilty or whatnot for now, and that's why he's back on TV. Even though, again, I'm not crazy about the idea of having Velveteen Dream back on TV. I still thought it was too soon. I'm not saying you could have never brought him back, but definitely give him more time, because he feels like he's just being booed only because of this controversy. And again, that I just don't feel like that's a good way to build a character off of him. Yes, again, he's obviously nobody's going to cheer for him right now, but again, if you're doing this, you're basically giving him the path to being another Nia Jax or a Baron Corbin. Gets booed pretty much and gets just a nuclear heat on him, but nobody's going to want to see him, do anything. They're not going to really want to see him at this point win a championship. No. They're going to want to see him, earn the opportunities to fight for a title. No. So, again, you kind of backed yourselves in a little bit of a corner here with Velveteen Dream. So, a match with Kushida, whatever, let's put over Kushida. He's not really done much. He's been around for a year now? Or a little longer than that? I'm not sure. And he hasn't really done much. So, we'll see where it goes. Um, we have Breezango getting a vignette where they smell success on their newly won tag titles, talking about how Imperium doesn't like them and the feeling is mutual. Imperium gets a response mixed with the videotape and talks about how Breezango is going to have the shortest NXT title reign ever, and we're going to get an NXT tag title match next week. Then we can go back to the Garganos, where Candice is basically trying to sell her on the Tegan Nox on the Gargano way, pretty much. Tegan says she disagrees with the Gargano way. And, Johnny, of course, was like, oh, I agree, this has been awkward, I'll let you girls be. And pretty much Tegan says, like, your husband's letting you just, getting your... Basically, Tegan was saying that she thinks that, Johnny Gargano is just, going crazy, and he's, causing, Candice LeRae to go into another downward fall as well with him. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Then we have this match with Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. And Bronson won. I would have rather had Austin win this. Like, he needed it. He just got brought back to NXT. His run on Raw was supposed to be just him replacing Andrade, but then they kept him around for a little too long, I thought, and they wore him out. And now he's back on NXT, and yeah, they try to protect it by having, Bronson Reed take advantage of his size and whatnot. But still, it just... I felt he needed this win more. Bronson Reed has the right momentum. I get it. He's on a roll. You want to keep him strong and whatnot. But it was one of those things where it's like maybe it wasn't the right time for these two to collide. As far as some other people as well. You're trying to do these big matches, but it's like, well, maybe it's not the right time for them to collide yet. And that probably was the case for Bronson Reed and Austin Theory. Again, I feel Austin Theory does need to get something going for him again after his failed attempt on the main roster. And again, I'm glad they brought him back, but he could have used this win, I thought. But Bronson wins with a splash. Adam Cole was interviewed backstage. He's saying he's disappointed. It's not the outcome he wanted, but he's being honest, saying the better man won. He respects Finn, but he better hope that he doesn't get another chance at the title because the outcome is going to be different. And that is undisputed. Mercedes Martinez gets a promo about her match tonight and says that Rhea Ripley is bad, but not as bad as her. When that cage door shuts, she's not stopping until there's nothing left of her. So then, of course, again, there's teasing that Adam Cole is a babyface again, right? Well, then we get Roderick Strong versus Killian Dane, and he's out there with Bobby Fish, and they're being heels. Roddy, the match wasn't really anything at all. Roddy wins the match with like a knee to the jaw of Killian Dane. It didn't really look like it was much at all. And he pins Killian Dane for the victory. And again, I'm just like, what happened with Killian Dane? Why is he just a guy to eat pins? He doesn't feel like anything special at all. Yet he was fighting for the NXT Championship his last opportunity, his last run in the company before he went to SmackDown and then got brought back. And I don't get why they're not doing anything with him since. But Drake Maverick comes out to scare off Fish and Strong once again, even though one or two people are acting like faces, some acting like heels. Like, what is going on here with the Undisputed Era? And then he tries to Drake Maverick came out to stop them from hurting Killian Dane more, but Killian Dane wanted none of it. So, do you care? I really don't. Like, why would I want to see a tag team involving Drake Maverick and Killian Dane when they definitely can survive on their own? I don't know. Definitely my least favorite match of the show. I thought was dumb. Then back to the Garganos. We have Candice offering a toast to Tegan Nox for their friendship and begin the next chapter. And when questioned, says that Tegan had her chance to go for the NXT Women's Championship but fell short. So she shouldn't get the next shot. But of course they started to argue, and then Nox isn't pleased. And then Candice throws a bowl of salad at her, and Tegan throws water back in her face. They start to brawl. Johnny comes back in and gets between them, calling Nox a terrible person, which leads to Nox dumping spaghetti on his head. And he goes to leave, and it looks like Candice threw either a remote or a shoe at Tegan, but missed her, and it breaks their TV. And then Tegan finally leaves, and I guess for Candice and Tegan alone, this is fine. But again, just Johnny. This heel run just isn't digging it for me. I'm still not. I just can't see a light at the end of the tunnel right now for Johnny's heel character. Like, he's just wondering again. Like I said before, yes, I would rather him be in NXT than the main roster. Yes, I agreed when they turned him heel. I mean, I didn't expect it, but I agreed when they turned him heel. Like, okay, he needs something fresh to do. But the character he has to me just is not working as a heel to me. Again, it's just, I don't know if I see, again, how Sami Zayn is being booked in it, or, again, he's not winning matches, and he's not getting anything out of the loss in return. Like, again, this is the same guy, again, who has not had a long reign, or had really any successful defenses with either the North American Championship, NXT Championship, or the NXT Tag titles. And, again, it's just bugging me, because it's like, now what do you do with him? Like, he's going to be some guy who's sitting at home, worshiping, a cup and a thing, and then just being upset about TV. And, I mean, again, like Candice has something to her still, because she hasn't been losing all her matches. Johnny, though, again, I'm just losing faith. And I'm not crazy about Johnny's heel run. I think he needs to go back to being a babyface. Just my opinion. Damian Priest then has a promo where he calls Timothy Thatcher ugly, as he's going to face him next week. And he's going to kick and punch him as many times as he likes and rearrange his face. And there's no chance he's losing his first title defense. The main event was the steel cage match with Rhea Ripley and Mercedes Martinez. Fun match, not as brutal as I thought it would be, but it was still fun. Of course, what took me out of it again was Robert Stone getting involved and him just hanging from the top of the cage like a freaking comedy act. But they used, kendo sticks, they used chairs, and of course there was the table spot at the end where Rhea won by hitting a riptide off of the top rope through the table to get the victory. I guess, this is just to get, Rhea back on track and to say that, Mercedes Martinez, her time is not here yet, but it will be eventually. I thought Mercedes was going to get this win, but who knows? Again, these feuds, I feel like people are just feuding with each other right now, just aren't meshing up right. Like, it's not the right time for them to be colliding, so who knows? So, that's going to do it, guys. Again, main event I thought was good, except for the stuff with Robert Stone. Opening match I thought should have main event of the show. Everything else in between was just a little off. I gave the show a C+. That's what I gave a C+. Tyler's done the best and worst pay-per-view endings. Nice. He still wants AJ and Roman. What's your dream Survivor Series team? Gotta think about that one. He thinks Kevin Owens needs to turn heel. Like I said, I think Kevin Owens needs to go back to NXT. One, again, they're lacking, a top baby face. Their star power has definitely gone down. And with them being 2 hours, it's not helping. I gotta do a video talking about how NXT has, fallen off a little bit, but who knows when I'll be able to do that. And we got Charlie Kelly. What do you think of Cedric turning heel and joining Hurt Business? Also, Retribution spoke and said that they got let go by WWE. Again, we'll see who it is for Retribution. And again, I just actually posted my turn alert from Cedric Alexander, so you can check that out for my thoughts on that as well there. And the poll on Twitter, only one vote. They gave it an A. I gave it a C+. Guys, I just didn't really care for the stuff in between, in my opinion. And again, I thought that, the opening match should have main event the show. So, who knows? But guys, that's going to do it. That's my thoughts on NXT this week. What are your thoughts on NXT, guys? Again, I gave it a C+. Leave your thoughts down in the comment section below. Sure, as always, to slap a like on the video. Subscribe or comment on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, DemanderBronny3. Check it out, guys. See you guys tomorrow for my AEW Dynamite review. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out, everybody.